I just want to remind everybody once again that likes, dislikes, that whole system, ratioing people, all that, none of that matters on social media. It doesn't matter on Twitter, X, it doesn't matter on Instagram, it doesn't matter on Facebook, it doesn't matter on YouTube. These companies want your engagement. That is what they care about. They care about engagement, period. They don't want to suppress heavily liked or disliked content. It doesn't do them any good because the ads that run on liked or disliked content are the same. The money spends the same. If a video is disliked 600,000 times versus a video that's liked 600,000 times, when people are going to that video, both of them are running ads at the beginning of them. So YouTube is financially benefited by either of those things. So it makes no sense for them to suppress or change or take anything away from likes or dislikes. It's just the reality of it. So we have a video clip here from our favorite bobbleheads, Rip and the Silverback, aka Eric July and Az, where they're talking about the Acolyte trailer. We're not going to watch the whole thing. Don't worry. I've already watched it. I know what parts I want to talk about. If you want to watch it for full context, a lot of people in the comment section are like, you don't watch the whole thing. I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes and critique an entire video when a bunch of the stuff in the video, it changes focus, changes direction. It does me no good to go around and listen to every single little bit of this entire conversation when there's just one portion of it that I want to talk about. So stay mad in the comment section if that's not what you like. I don't really care. However, for the people that are here and love my content, because I love you back, help fight back against the nasty algorithm. You can join the revolution today and allow us to slide into that algorithm and dismantle it from the inside, breaking down content like this from being the only thing that YouTube pushes down the pipeline. And we do that by engaging with content like mine and other people in this space. So hit subscribe, leave a like or a dislike down below, and leave a comment and become part of the Ericverse today so we can fight back against this kind of stuff. So when people go and search for content on YouTube, they are not overwhelmed by this overly grifty, scammy type of content. With that being said, let's listen to the part of the clip that I want to talk about, and then we're going to break it down.
We had not too long ago Star Wars. Giving it another shot. We knew this was the one project that is going to be, I don't know if there's anything else coming out this year for them, but we know that outside of the Acolyte. And we got our first look at what the actual deal is going to look like. As of course, you're more tapped in than I am with Star Wars and the direction that they're going.
Well, that's because you don't care, Eric. You make this content to stay in the algorithm so that you can use your platform to sell stuff from your merch shop. Because basically you're a warehouse full of merch. That's it. You're selling shirts, hats, posters, and some comic books on the side. That's kind of what it is. So you have to stay in that market and that demographic. So like I used to think that Az was leeching off of you kind of, you know, because you have a larger reach than he has, a larger platform. But I'm coming to see, or I guess realize, that you kind of need him because you're not connected to all of this stuff. You're not following all of this stuff. You're way too busy preparing to sell a bunch of comics for other people. So Az is your gateway into this content. You bring him on your podcast and then you let him do all the talking. I can't tell you how many times I've clicked on these clips and it's been mostly Az talking about these things. And Eric's just kind of sitting along for the ride. It's pretty obvious.
On in. Where do you think this puts them? Enthusiasm up, enthusiasm down?
I believe that the Acolyte trailer is just about to be ratioed on their main YouTube channel.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter if people leave negative comments, that's engagement. Doesn't matter if those comments get a bunch of likes or dislikes, that's engagement. Doesn't matter if people respond to those comments, that's engagement. And these guys know that. Like, one of the things about these larger channels that do this kind of stuff is they're well aware of the system that we're in. They understand how it works, right? Which is why they don't care if people hate watch them. They don't care if people like me talk about their videos. They don't care about this kind of stuff because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I make 100 videos talking negatively about their content. They're getting a boost in engagement because of that. And that's why it doesn't matter to them. Which is why I say I don't mind getting my hands dirty and jumping into the mud to try and dismantle the system, because it's really the only way it's going to happen. The only way that YouTube is going to change what it does is if we actively engage with this and then sort of confuse YouTube on the kind of content that it is making, that's getting out there into their pipeline. So that's why I enjoy doing this, which is why my thumbnails are always a riff on like something they would do with like a little fun stinger at the end, and my thumbnails are like satirical. Like I understand how the game works. And it seems like YouTube is recognizing that. And so that is why it's important that you guys are over here as well, so we can start doing something about it. But none of this matters. Every single thing he's going to say after this is basically just nonsense. It just does not matter.
Okay. It's already ratioed everywhere else. The trailer, I think, speaks volumes about Star Wars, current Star Wars. This isn't a product made for men. This isn't a product.
Why? Why is it not? You say that, but like, I'm a man. Several people that I know are men. They're all happy about it. When you say something like this, it is paramount that you show some sort of information to back that up. Otherwise, you're just talking shit. I don't mind. I'd love to talk shit as much as the next person. That's kind of what we do over here from time to time. But if you're going to say something like that to prove that your side is correct, then you need to provide information showing that. When you throw out some sort of a statistic like that, or some sort of like a bit of information like that, it is upon your shoulders to provide us with that kind of information to show this is why I'm right, because there was this survey that was done and these are the numbers or whatever. But that doesn't benefit them. And let me explain why that doesn't benefit them. The people that watch their content don't care about numbers. They just want confirmation bias. They want these guys and people like these guys to get on camera and just repeat to them what they're already thinking. Their small little pocket of the fandom. They're very loud, toxic, negative pocket of the fandom. They need that confirmation bias. They need that validation. They need to feel all these things, which is why they project that onto everybody else. If they don't have these guys confirming how they feel, then they have to accept that some of these things are very much loved. People are out there watching them, engaging with them, and that all they can do is go to the videos and create sock accounts and negatively downvote something. All they can do is go to these videos and leave comments and from sock accounts. Like, that is the only power that they have. And in the big scheme of things, people don't care about that. This is not the real world. This world that they live in is not real, which is why Eric himself, when he talked about going to conventions, when he was I think it was like what, MegaCon, I think was the last one that he went to, that he wasn't, no one came up to him and started talking shit about the Rippaverse. He wasn't dealing with any trolls. He wasn't dealing with anything like that. It was genuinely people there who wanted to engage with him, with his content, because for some reason they like it. They like his content. Doesn't matter how much I don't like it or how many people that I know that I talk to that don't like it. There are people that are going to go out, they're going to engage with the content that they like. And Eric realizes that. I don't know if Az does, because the only two places I ever see Az are the gym and his room. But Eric, he's everywhere. He goes out, he does stuff. And so he's fully aware of that. And as you can see so far in this whole thing, he's being very quiet in this. It's a little weird, honestly.
Product made for boys. I don't even think it's a product made for girls personally, but that is definitely the intended marketplace is females. Once again, we see a Kathleen Kennedy self-insert with Carrie On.
But an intended market doesn't mean that's the only market. Again, with these games, as someone can, I could make a channel like I do now, where my intent is to attract a lot of people who like diverse content, maybe some queer viewers, anybody under the umbrella, maybe some other marginalized communities that want to come in and support this. But that doesn't mean that's the only people that are going to engage with my content. If I were to do a poll and say, hey, which one of these communities are you a part of? I don't think it's going to all be the same thing. So to say that just because women are the focus of the series doesn't mean that women are the only people that would engage with this. But Az is just such, like, he's so negative about all of it that for him, it doesn't matter. In his mind, he just has to keep repeating the same stuff that he's been saying for so many years. He is a culmination of all of the negativity of the people that watch his content. It's like this symbiotic infinity symbol of like hate. Like, it started out with Az being negative, then his viewers became negative, and they kind of merged together, and now it's just this almost, what is it, human centipede of hate between these guys and their viewers.
And Moss this time acting as the one. Notice how her inserts are systematically getting closer and closer to Kathy's actual age. And to me, I thought the trailer.
So it's a jeez, you know, again, it must be miserable to view all content this way. It must be miserable to sit around and worry about the check boxes in content instead of just sitting back, watching it and deciding if you like it or you don't like it based on how it made you feel, instead of just analytically trying to come up with excuses and numbers for all of this content. It's a miserable existence. I don't know how anybody in the fandoms that we're in would have ever existed prior to this. There's actually a content creator here on YouTube named Chris Bacon who goes out to comic book shops. He puts it on Twitter, X, and he talks to people. And even he has found that this idea that, and I'm not going to quote him here, this isn't a quote, but in some of his travels, he has found that some of these shops, the idea of diversity, women-driven content, queer-driven content, or whatever, regardless of the size of that market, it's enough to sustain a lot of these comic book shops. People are coming in and buying them and engaging with them. So he's actually going out and doing that, where instead of as sitting on here just making stuff up to once again confirm biases.
Trailer looked just absolutely. I could not see how on earth anyone could be interested in this drivel.
I am. A lot of people I know are. So I've just disproven your point.
Just looked like drivel. Was it offensive to a degree? No, but it didn't have to be offensive to a degree. It just had to show me exactly what your intention was.
Okay, so now that you have confirmed that it wasn't offensive, we're going to stop there. Now that you've confirmed that it wasn't offensive, right? That the trailer didn't do anything necessarily bad. It wasn't, wasn't pushing any kind of narrative for you. It wasn't doing your typical woke agenda stuff or whatever. It wasn't like that. But you say it was the intention behind it that made you not like it. So you're not basing it on the content in front of you. You're basing it on this nebulous thing that you think because the conspiracy theory just has you completely brain rotted. This is the kind of stuff that these guys do. This is the kind of content they make. I honestly could sit and make video after video after video, sort of breaking down and dissecting these guys. I could sit here and watch this whole 11-minute video and just debunk every single thing that comes out of Az's and Eric's mouth. But it doesn't really serve any purpose in the big scheme of things. Like, I don't think any of their viewers are going to come over here and listen to anything that I have to say in detail. So this is more me doing it because I'm trying, once again, to help the algorithm become better for YouTube. I think that's ultimately, it's going to be my goal for this year, is really just engaging with this content in a way that will make the algorithm sort of rewire how it pumps out videos. And so it helps the whole ecosystem of content creators on YouTube. So it can help this space here on YouTube sort of thrive for other content creators who are not just out here grifting off of negativity and a cycle of hate. They're able to make videos and sort of get out there and not be pushed down by YouTube's algorithm. Anyway, these two guys are just doing the same thing. I have a good time listening to them because they're so easily debunked. They just say the same stuff and then never provide any sources for it. They don't pull up any kind of numbers. They don't pull up any proof of anything. And all the people there watching them are just eating this shit up. It's wild to me.